I thought I'm going to add my 2 cents on the subject that it's so en vogue today regarding the ADHD, the neurodiversity, especially the adult neurodiversity. Normally, I am part of this category if I would care to adhere to the categorization of spiritual experiences as a mental illness or as a psychiatric condition, which is not. I come to ask a question for those of you who are in this category. And the question is pretty simple. You know that you are different. You knew that you are different from the others since you're little. You've tried and I'm sure you've searched to find answers and you couldn't. And why are you going to the exact people that are the last to be able to help you? Just by putting a diagnosis, just by giving another nonsensical term and name, and again using the same framework that the mechanistic medicine or science has been using by putting so many kilometer long definition, trying to explain a phenomenon with their reduced senses, to then come and tell you, well, first you need to medicate because you don't. As I was reading on a website regarding the ADHD, and this doctor was specializing for children, but number one, we attack it with psychiatric medication because, as I always tell parents, you first need to put the fire out before looking to see what caused it. I'm sorry, ADHD, it's everything but a fire that you need to put first out. You cannot put that fire out without understanding it. So like the comparison, it's completely out of place. Just like any comparison with a physical illness, it's out of place because they're not, the two are not the same. And you cannot compare the physical with the psychic pain. And if you cut a leg and it bleeds, you need to use the physical science that is best suited. But when you are going through a psychic pain, you cannot use the same science for the physical, for the psychic, because the two are completely different. You see, from where I stand and from my experience, and I do claim to have a lot of experience because I'm one of the very few people on this planet that can actually heal. I'm not saying treat, because treatment is just maintenance and it's just a wishy-washy thing. Heal, help people heal, completely heal from enduring lifelong depression. I've myself suffered my entire life from it until I finally changed approach after my near-death experience, which forced me, completely catapulted me into the world of spirituality, because at that point I could no longer deny it. When you are dead and when you go back to the source, to the origin of all existence, and you see that what we call God is not a beardy person on a cloud, but and is not even a person, and you are not met by angels singing harps, or you are not met by dead relatives, but you return to to a form of energy and you are part of this pulsating energy, you realize that the true spirituality is the true science. And when you merge with everything, when you go back to that 0 point, you experience the 0 point, you realize that how futile the debate between science and spirituality and consciousness, and trying to find what consciousness is, the hard problem of science, and is there God? Do you believe in God? The Jordan Peterson beating it around the bush, not wanting to admit that he believes in God or whether he believes in God. What do you mean by God? What is God? What do you mean by God? He's always trying to deflect to answer. You realize that we've been chasing our own tails, and the fact that today we're experiencing this unexplained, because medicine can't explain. If you look to every single scientific paper regarding neurodiversity, regarding autism, regarding especially ADHD, when you look, science, well, you read a long lot of nothing to just hear the conclusion. We don't know where it's coming from. We don't know what that really is. So, but I know what that is. And the secret lays in, well, you read in a new definition, the new definition of looking at life. If we stop for a minute, well, more than a minute, to contemplate the fact that we know nothing about ourselves. We know nothing about we know nothing about the creation and the apparition of the human. And if we were to, if we were to accept, and people who are enamored with the Darwinian theory, which in my view are intellectually lazy people, because it's, well, we find that's it. Just leave it at that. Science knows. Don't bother me anymore. The brain is lazy anyway. So don't ask me to go again to try to find what's what, because that has been settled. Yeah, we know we come from monkeys, and that's, leave it there. Well, the point is, if we came from monkeys, why have the monkeys stopped evolving? Why the human is the only one who suffers sunburns? Why the human is the only one that takes 12 months to get himself up and to become dependent? We are not really from this planet. We are not really indigenous. We became accustomed for many, after many years. I can believe, and I see that there are a category of people who have been who come from the monkey, which has been genetically enhanced through DNA editing by higher civilizations. That's clear. You can see. In fact, you can see when you interact with people, you can see that those that are indigenous from this planet are, in a way, more simple-minded and really in love with their material life. And then you have people that feel like they've crash landed into the planet of the apes, into the planet of the crazy, where nothing makes sense. Absolutely nothing makes sense. Up is down, down is up, white is black, black is white, day is night, night is day. Basically, this is what it is. And for us, for what I call people not from here, souls not from here, for people that are having problems to adapt to this to this reality. Because we are in minority, and because we see the others so well adjusted, if for them it's normal to work like to be like the animal of labor, which they've been since their creation, and in modern times the animal of labor, it's the genetically enhanced monkey to keep serving the masters, to wake up, to travel I don't know how long, to go to their work, and to be submitted and submissive, and to carry on a soulless and a soul-destroying task, and to be subjected day in, day out to all kinds of abuse from their employer, from their psychopathic, narcissistic managers. Well, that's it. It's normal. Everybody. And then if you as an outsider, as a literal outsider, you come in and say, well, screw that. I'm not going to do that. Are you crazy? Why should I do that? Why are you doing that? They look at you and they like, and they look at you like you're crazy, and they have to make you crazy, because if you are the normal one, then what have they done with their life, with their whole life? What happened to humanity? All these civilizations. So obviously, you need to be put in a wrong category. You need to be put in a crazy category. And since now crazy is no longer acceptable, we put you in a category that sounds politically correct. But we still deal with you. We deal with you with gloves. We use psychiatry to put you in your place, to keep the status quo, but we do it under the guise that of equal rights, of political correctness and equal rights. We sugarcoat it in so many beautiful ways that we give, like, we make campaigns about your right to be crazy. We consider that you're out of place, that you are not normal, but we are calling you different names so that you feel flattered instead of attacked, and then you are just like, with a spoonful of sugar, the medicine goes down. That's exactly what it is. We make campaigns. We use double speak and semantics to hide the fact that we being sarcastic here, the science, we don't know what the hell we are talking about, but we definitely know, or those that are in the know, in a higher places, they know that you need to be suppressed, that you need to be kept quiet, that you need to stop asking questions, because your brain, it's a crazily powerful, well, it's not even the brain necessarily, it's your the senses. Your sixth sense threatens to expose this upside down world to the rest of the animals of labor. And if you wake up the whole damn society to what is going on, then the others are screwed. So better we give you rights to be different. We keep advocating for your differences in a workplace, in everything else. We give you on top some CBT for this, CBT for that, which is a brainwashing technique. Let's call it what it is. There is no evidence there is a video, where is the evidence in evidence-based therapy? This is not a therapy to begin with. Therapy, it's something that heals, not treats. So all the techniques, the therapeutic practices that are and counseling that is going out there, that as long as they are following formulaic structures, they are everything but healing methodologies, because you cannot go with a framework to heal something. To heal something means, and it's the full definition, it's here, is to remove what was wrong. You cannot treat a victim of domestic abuse with CBT. This is what is happening. People that are suffering from depression, they are not questioning what's happened to them to get depressed. A domestically abused child, a domestically abused woman who suffer from depression is given CBT, and then it's like, what? And you send her back home to the abuser, you never inquire about that. So if you don't remove the toxicity in that environment, if you don't remove the narcissistic manager, if you don't remove the narcissistic ignorant people in the team, if you don't remove the full bloody work system that is based on inequality, on top-down management, on keeping you suppressed, and somehow hiring the most incompetent people to keep the working animals other place. That's what needs to happen for your ADHD, for your neurodiversity, to stop acting out, to stop having these meltdowns. We have meltdowns because we are raw skinned. We don't have the filters. We are not asleep. We are more awake than the others, and we feel. It's not that we see and feel through all our senses, through our sixth sense, the hyper-developed sense, what is going on. We feel other people's turmoils. We feel and see other people's thoughts, although you are not aware of it, but you are very telepathic and empathic. What empathy is, it's emotional telepathy. So because we are so attuned to what is happening, but you've been gaslighted by science. I don't like, that's not science, because some science, it's a never-ending inquiry in all kinds of directions, without bias and without dogma. Today's science, especially when it comes to mental health, is scientism. Because Scientology or science, I think, I think Scientology will be closer to what's going on in a person's psyche than science, than the mental health science, because that's not science. As long as you stop inquiring, as long as you disregard and you in fact you don't listen. If you listen to all of the people maltreated by the psychiatric care, by the mental health system, when they are not listened to, when they try to describe their spiritual experiences and they are called crazy, they are diagnosed as crazy, they're medicated up to their eyeballs, and as a result people have stopped sharing their experiences by fear. Well, that's not science. That's everything. That's torture. So you cannot go to a branch that from the outset is hell-bent in denying your experiences, is hell-bent in not even trying to entertain the idea that there is a bigger reality outside their myopic little worldview. That the science that they've been fed, that it's not science, that the theories that they've been fed in their med school. I dropped my master in psychology when I proposed a new study in neuroscience, and I've been told no, because that's too new, and I have to do something a research that has been done, because otherwise I'm not going to get the grades. And I thought, like, that's crazy. That's the only reason I'm doing this. I'm going through this, brain killing, nonsensical study with you just to get to do my research, and they didn't want to accept it. So from every single corner of this society, I've been proven on and on and on again that the so-called science is not interested in science. They're not interested in finding out. They're interested in maintaining the status quo, pushing pills down your throat, and just keeping their warm positions. That's it. Because admitting spirituality, like if you admit spirituality, if you let spirituality take its rightful place in your human life, they have no job. They're out of job, because, and then the true change will happen, will be required to happen. Because if we admit that there are other worlds outside of ours, that we are not it in the whole universe, and that the human spirit has an element that escapes even the microscope of the scientist, and that we communicate with one another, with the environment, through these six senses, and then we, just like animals, but it's more than that. That telepathy exists, that empathy exists, the fact that there are studies that people share dreams in different, from different sides of the world. I'm not trying to justify, because this is the trick of the scientism, to try to put you on a spot to say, well, prove me, show me some papers. Like, nobody bloody has, there are papers, but nobody's reading them because they're behind paywalls. And number two, just like in my case, nobody's interested in, they don't even allow you to start a research project because it hasn't been done before. And you need to build your research on the back of something that has been done before. And number two, to have interest. And there is no interest because there is no commercial use for that. If you empower the population and you ask them to go, instead of coming to you for the pills, to go inward, where is the interest? So we don't have a health system, we have an illness system. And this is what is happening with us, with this, that we call the neurodivergence, like these bloody Ponzi names. We see through, and those of us who are wise enough and spiritually mature enough and crazy enough to admit this is what it is, you just realize that it's time for you to stop doubting. It is what you see. It is what you feel. And the fact that the others don't get it, the fact that you get so overwhelmed, is because the others are too insensitive. It's not because you are out of, it's because the world, it's suffering. And the poor working animals have been so desensitized by their mistreatment, by their centuries of abuse, that they don't even realize that they are suffering. And we are feeling all that. We are feeling the pain that they are not feeling it. The fact that we are getting quicker depressed than the others, the fact that we get anxiety and social anxiety, the article on LinkedIn today, or the post on LinkedIn, was the social anxiety. Well, there's no bloody social anxiety. It's just you feeling, you having the empathic ability to feel their distress. And the fact that you see that they are in an animalic state, they've been so desensitized. Either I see it like the lights are on and there's no one home, you see them, they're robots, you don't know like who the hell is that. And those people are acting in that animalic state, that they're ready to knife you, they're ready to abuse you, to do all kinds of horrendous, inhuman things, and you want to stay away from them. Or you look at the people in your environment that you're hoping to commune and communicate, but again, it's like you're speaking to a wall, because everything bounces back to you, because there is no one to reciprocate. There is no one to be able to understand what you are saying before you even say it. So because we are so developed, and we have our antennas are tuned, we immediately know that there is no point in even trying to explain, because they're not going to get it. They are intellectually, not to mention spiritually, so underdeveloped that the only way we can maintain a semblance of social normality is to dumb ourselves down and to pretend. And because we have to do that so often, well, it grinds on us. And at some point, it goes against our own soul. It erodes our soul and our sense of self-worth, because what the hell? Why should I do that? But if you don't do it, you are an outcast, you are alone. And then we reach a point where you have to make that choice, because by cutting parts of you just for you to be, your presence, your magnitude, your light to be digestible for those desensitized and underdeveloped, kept on purpose underdeveloped people, it comes a day when it's like, it's not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it. And then you remove yourself from the situation. It's like, no point. I don't like you. I can't, it's not that I have something against you, it's that I can't communicate with you. No matter what, like I would love nothing more than to share and to give you what I have, and for us to do something together, but you can't even receive me. You can't receive my presence without me having to dim my light down, without me having to dumb myself down. I want to talk about the great picture, and you think I'm crazy. If I'm talking about spirituality, if I'm talking about different dimensions, you think I'm cuckoo and I need to take my meds. So why should I bother with you? And I'm removing myself from the situation, whether that situation is work, this is why people like us can't fit in normal work environments, because that's why we get ill immediately. Not only because we feel all your intentions and thoughts, like of the normal people, and we see the jealousy, we see especially we see the stupidity that is around, that the mediocrity and the dog is a dog, the competition, the false, the pretenses, and we can't stand all that. And we become very quickly persona non grata. We become a target, because through our light we expose the darkness in others. Through our light, through our sensibilities, we expose the darkness in this world. And that's why people don't, it's not that you have anxiety or social anxiety. Well, if you're happy with the labels and with the pills, by all means, go to them. But for those of you who are sober or are sobering up, that's what is happening. You are not ill, my friends. You are special. You are supposed to keep to your guns and to not let this hypnotized world beat you into submission. It's not that you have a problem, that you are neurodivergent, and we put the neuro to make it sound scientific-y. Yeah. It's not that. It's that they are asleep. And the labor animal needs to be kept asleep. But you need to be given some kind of label for you to shut the hell up.